Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all those that are coming on, all my replay viewers, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on now. I know a lot of you guys are starting to get the notification that I'm on. I'm going to flip my camera around so I can talk to you. Hey guys, if this is your first time with me, my name is Keely. I'm the owner of LoveHopeAdventure.com, and I blog about the marriage relationship, intimacy in marriage, and how to go deeper in relationship with your spouse. Also, I do some lifestyle posts. Those are few and far between, but they're there. And I like to sometimes blog about recipes and crafts because I do those things. And the biggest thing that people come to my website for are bedroom games. And these are geared for couples to have the ability to play an intimate game in the bedroom, and you can always check those out at LoveHopeAdventure/bedroom-games. So today I wanted to talk with you guys about couponing and what couponing the other day taught me. Alright, so I showed you at the start. This is, if you've ever couponed, then you'll know that this is an insert that comes in your paper. Here's some actual coupons. I think I was just showing you sales ads. Okay, so why am I talking about couponing, right? Because this is marriage focused, and I said in my title how couponing taught me about different seasons in life. If we were to go back about, 8 years, my husband Austin and I were in a pretty difficult financial situation. We had 2 mortgage payments. We didn't expect to do that. That wasn't what we planned, but it's just basically what happened, and we could not sell our house, and it took like 1.5 years. So we were really struggling because we didn't expect it to take that long, and thank the Lord that I found an amazing resource over at Money Saving Mom, and that is actually a website by Crystal Payne. She is someone I have followed. She's literally the only blogger that I followed up until the last couple of months, because I didn't even know about blogging for a really long time. And I read her couponing website, and seriously, I tried to use a few coupons on occasion to buy stuff, but it just never really seemed to work out because store brands are actually cheaper, even if you're using a coupon. But there's this whole game system that you can do with couponing to save money. And fortunately for me, I was able to use a lot of those principles for several years to keep my grocery budget very low, and we really made it through some tough times in that regard. Now, in the middle of mediocre couponer. Well, that's actually what I was. I was kind of a mediocre kind of person for a long time. And I never got as good as Crystal. I'm just going to put that out there. She had some amazing sales in her area and some really awesome stores in her area that did some super awesome deals. I never had access to some of the stuff that she did in the area that she lived. But for me, couponing was sort of a way of life for several years. And I could not, in the midst of it, I could have never envisioned myself being done with couponing. It was great. We were able to meet our budget and stuff. I was able to keep things low. I was able to feed my family. I felt like we were doing pretty well in that area. And I just thought, this is never going to change. Why would this ever change? This is so great. This is such an awesome part of our life. And it's wonderful, and it's working for us, and it worked for us for a long time until we moved to a new place. And where I live now, there is a huge couponing competition around here. And so you would have to be extreme couponer to really be able to get the sales and the deals. And I'm talking about the moment the store opens, people are in there with their books and they're getting all this stuff. And so I really struggled to coupon here because when I would go to a store, there would never be any of the stuff. Right, it is a bummer because you work all these things out and you've clipped all your coupons and you go. And if you aren't there at 6 a.m. when the store opens in this area, they're just going to be out of the stuff. So I really struggled when we got here, and it was frustrating to me because I enjoyed couponing, and it really helped meet a need for us, but it wasn't working here, and I struggled. And I felt like I was just, I don't know, like not doing a good enough job. Like if I could only do it better. But realistically, I wasn't going to get out of the door with 3 children in tow at the time Harris Teeter opens for their double coupon sales events or any of the stores. And so I really had a hard time with it. So in the meantime, I actually found a way to make money from home. And for those of you who follow me on my blog, lovehopeadventure.com, I don't really talk about this over there because it's not necessarily in my niche, but I'm a freelance writer. And that's my personal blog. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. I love to talk to people about their marriage, about their relationships. That's super important to me. So I don't really talk about what I do for a living over there, but the freelance writing that I do has actually made up for more than what I could have ever put into couponing. So the number of hours that I spent putting into couponing, it took time. And it took time away from me being able to earn an income. And so, thanks so much, Thrifty Treasures, for saying that. It's really awesome that I was able to, I had to give up the couponing, though, so that I could focus on growing my client base. Now I go to Aldi, and where we lived in our last town, they didn't have an Aldi, so I really kind of missed that. And guys, seriously, I was shopping at Aldi long before it was ever big to do on couponer websites. Where we lived at our first church, there was an Aldi, and there was something called a Dollar General Market, which I've never seen anywhere else. And the Dollar General Market always had better produce prices than the Aldi. And if you've never seen a Dollar General Market, oh, how I miss it, because they had very good deals there. So I'm back in an area where there's Aldi. It saves a lot of time for me to just go there. The other day, though, okay, yes, I have Dollar Generals here in where I live in North Carolina, but none of them are the market, and that has the full grocery section, like fruits, vegetables. It's very interesting, and I've only ever seen one in the first town I lived in. But the reason why I'm talking about couponing at all is that I had to go to Food Lion a couple of weeks ago and use my coupons. There is a couple at my church, bless their sweethearts. They give me coupons week in and week out. And I save the ads. I feel like, hey, I did couponing for so long. It would be wrong of me to get rid of this coupons because I know how valued they are amongst that group of people, even though I often don't use them. So I had to go to Food Lion instead of Aldi the other day because our Aldi's not open on Sunday, and it was about to have an ice storm or something. So I really needed to go before I could get to Aldi. And I sat down with the coupons, and I looked at the deal websites, and I looked at what Food Lion was offering for sales, and I went through this whole process again. And you know what? I really didn't enjoy it like I used to. It was actually kind of a big pain for me, and it seemed kind of inconvenient. And I actually didn't spend less on the food as if I had just done my regular grocery store shopping, because like I said, in this area, it's very hard to coupon. They're constantly out of stuff. So it was something I didn't like anymore. And it was a part of my life that I really found a lot of joy in because it was my thing. I got to go to the store every week, and I got to do the shopping, and I got to feel like I was contributing to my household. But now couponing is just kind of a pain. And there was this time in my life where I thought, this will never end. This is so awesome. This is never going to end. I will always do this. I don't care how much money I make, right? Well, we do a whole lot of Whole Foods too, and I don't really have allergies. But with the couponing, I actually never did a lot of the box stuff. So that's why I think I couldn't ever get my grocery budget as low as some of the couponers, because I basically just buy ingredients. I don't like box stuff. So it was a little bit more hard for me to get good deals on when I was couponing and doing a good job of it anyways. So I think I saved the most through Toiletries, but now I do a lot of my own Like, I don't even use shampoo anymore, and I haven't used conditioner very often, and I make my own laundry detergent. So, toiletry-wise, I don't know, maybe I am losing out a little bit on that, but I do some pretty cheap things, and those were two of my, like, sucks with the with the hair stuff and my laundry detergent. So, anyway, as far as like me thinking that was always going to be a part of my life and that it would always bring me joy, and now I find that it doesn't. Something else is bringing me joy. Something else is working for me now. And it's not working better, it's working now, and that other thing quit working. And that's how it is in your marriage. There are going to be times in all relationships. This is with children, this is with best friends, this is with any relationship. For a period of time, things are going to be great. They're going to be working for you, and eventually something's going to happen, and it's no longer going to work for you. And then you have to find something else that will. So maybe, for example, with your spouse, you guys really enjoy doing whatever. Yes, God blesses us in different ways, in different seasons, even in our marriages. So my husband and I, maybe, for example, we just really loved taking walks around our neighborhood or something. I'm just making something up right now. I didn't really come into this with an actual, like, this is how things have changed for us. Say we just love walking around the neighborhood, and we get to a different season of our life and say, well, that's not working for us anymore. Maybe we've got knee problems, or we're old, or we don't have sidewalks, which we do not have sidewalks here, by the way. But my point is this, is that where you are today, whether you're in a place that is great or in a place that's not so great, this is a season. And then the next season, something will be different. So even if there is something you find great joy in right now in your relationship, just think of it as, I should hold on to this, I value it right here, right now, because at some other point in my life, it may go away. Or it may get different. We do different things that we love. And as we grow older, our kids grow older, dynamics in the home change. It causes our marriage relationship to be different. It causes us to have to approach things differently. And I'm not very good at accepting change or working towards change. So I kind of have to go like kicking and screaming into the change. And I would love to be more of the kind of person that accepts it more fully. So I'm going to tell you to accept the change fully, and I'm just going to sit over here and struggle with it, right? No. That's definitely something I have to work on in my own life. Just be excited for the change, be ready for it, but be happy with where I am, what I'm doing right here and now. And so there are some things that Austin and I really enjoy in our relationship right now, things we really enjoy in our marriage. But these things may not always be here. There might be a time where it's like, okay, how did we ever live without this, and how will we ever live in the future if we don't have it? But different seasons happen, and so things are going to change for you. And just like with my couponing, there was a time where I thought, this will never change. I will never stop liking this. This will never stop working for me. I mean, why would it? And now I look at it as a chore, and it's not fun anymore. So in our relationships, we should do the same thing. For a while, maybe something's really fun, and then it gets to be more of a chore. And so you have to come up with new adventures, new things to give yourself to in your marriage. So that's kind of what's been on my mind over the last couple of weeks. And if you want to find out what I'm blogging about, head over to lovehopeadventure.com. And that's where I blog. I try to get a post up there a couple times a week. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I should be on probably around 1 like usual. I have to record a podcast in the morning, so it might throw my schedule. And if I don't come on, it's because I'm doing the podcast still. I hope to talk with you guys soon, and have a great night.